What is going on, guys? We are back with another video today, and we are doing another video that we do every year despite my very mediocre knowledge of each NFL draft. Of course, I look into some things, and I know about maybe the top 50 prospects. I know a decent little bit, but I'm not like your I know what he did the last two games, middle of the college season, type of guy. I really should be, to be honest. Now, I'm not saying that I'm, like, hardcore into that just because, like, it should be. It is kind of the chasing the paycheck kind of thing. I've never really been super into college football because it just really feels like, everything every guy is doing in college football is to get to the pro level. So at the end of the day, it's just like, I don't know, it just doesn't intrigue me as much as it probably should, but it would be a lot more fun each year if, I was kind of more invested in these guys coming into the NFL, but, I know a few things here or there. There's a couple of guys I pick out that I really do like, and then, I kind of pay attention to them a little bit more in the pro level, but regardless of that point, we still know what a lot of teams' needs are. We still kind of know the general basis of where players should go. So unless there's some crazy out of the, left field, talking about another sport I don't know about, pick, everything should be pretty fine. I move some players around, not just completely locking in where I want them to go, but, just kind of what seems to be the top, 30-ish prospects. But we'll go into the draft. We'll see what happens. And yeah, there's plenty of other guys that you could look at if, on YouTube. Bengal's a great guy for that. C4. There's a lot of guys on YouTube that, you're really looking for proper mock draft stuff and proper college, scouting. But this is still a fun video I like to do. And afterwards, we're going to simulate just to kind of see maybe some of the full classes here or there. And overall, just see what kind of happens if these teams were to take who they take in this kind of experiment video and see what happens throughout the, sim for the first year. But let's go into the draft. Every pick is correct. It was a little bit of a pain to make some trades. I had to go to each team and switch them around. Obviously a lot of draft pick trades. It was some pretty crazy off season. I was kind of underplaying a little bit, and then I was thinking, Devontae, Tyree, there's some pretty big names that were moved. Obviously, the Jaguars are expected to take a lineman here. They could dip in that sauce, if you know what I mean. Oh, Aiden Hutchinson. See, this isn't like a surprise because there has been a lot of, mock drafts saying Aiden Hutchinson could go number one overall. Not the craziest combine in the world. Pretty good in the agility drills, which matters, but I think he ran slightly slower than people were expecting. But this could very well be the number one overall pick. Honestly, if I'm them, I think you got to trade down. I just, like, it's really tough to be, it's really tough to be number one, right? To get to anyone you want, but it's so hard to pass on a pass rusher. But your biggest need really is tackle. I don't care about the re-signings, the tag of Robinson. Trevor Lawrence, I'm pretty sure, was sacked like in the top 10 range throughout the year last year, throughout all teams. I really would say Jacksonville is listening hard at offers, but is this really one of those classes where a team is going to trade up, within the top 5 to number one? I think if you can get a top 5 pick out of pick 1, you absolutely do it. If you're Jacksonville, there's a good amount of tackles you can still get, but probably going to be a tackle. Now, with Detroit not getting Aiden Hutchinson, it's still kind of best available. I don't think they need tackle, though, so do you maybe reach? They could use corner as well. We don't know what Okuda's going to do. He's been injured quite a bit as well. Melifonwu looked actually pretty decent. Oruwariye, did they actually retain him? How young is it? He might not even need to be retained. He might still be on like a deal. Hey, he's on his final year. He looked pretty good for them. So it really kind of depends on how you think Okuda's going to play. Melifonwu, if he plays well, Sauce could be an option. I don't know if Kyle Hamilton's the prospect that everyone was saying he was beforehand. He's still a good player, but he definitely does look pretty slow. I don't know. What do you see as the best available pick? Aiden Hutchinson just seemed like a great story to stay in Detroit, but obviously that's gone here. If you're Detroit, I think you definitely need to trade down. Maybe you even get crazy and reach. Maybe you take Garrett Wilson. Maybe this is Trayvon Walker. I know he's moved quite a bit up the board. I think maybe a month and a half ago he would have been in the like 15-20 range. Now talks about him going number 1 overall. We'll see what happens here, though. I can't imagine it's tackle, but that might be what happens. And it is Ekwonu. I mean, I'm just trying to think. I guess, does he go interior? I mean, do you really draft interior, pick 2 overall? I mean, this kind of seems like just a case of best available pick. Houston, this should be tackle. This is another team that specifically this team should be the first one to trade down. If it's not the first 2, definitely should trade down. They just have so many needs. Once again, tackle. There's a good amount of them in the class. I just don't know if you want to take tackle 3 overall when you need literally everything. But they disagree and they will take them. This is where a lot of people were saying Kyle Hamilton. Edge wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. Offensive line, they've actually done a good job of adding to that throughout the last couple of years. This, once again, could be a reach for Garrett Wilson. I just think if you're the Jets here, you want Sauce, you want Kyle Hamilton, or honestly, like I said, Garrett Wilson. We'll see what they go. I'm going to guess it's Sauce, though. Just the way them. Oh, thank you, EA. Love it. Love it. Malik Willis. Woo! Yeah. I love it. All right. There's not much I can do about that, to be honest. Hopefully the Panthers take Sauce. That would be great. But I have a feeling Giants might here. Because if the Panthers do, then we could just say, hey, the Panthers took Malik Willis. They needed a quarterback. Kind of desperately. That's the choice. But the Giants probably pass rusher. Could be Thibodeau. Let's see. And it's Sauce, unfortunately. As that's a pretty good pick for the Giants. But I don't know if that's the number 1 need. I think the Giants have just been missing edge hardcore. I think you probably take tackle with that pick, and then you take edge with the 7th. But we'll see what the Panthers do. They take Thibodeau. I mean, that's definitely not a need of theirs. So I guess we're going to comp that the Jets take him, which isn't the worst call. So, I mean, we kind of get saved a little bit. The Giants even, I mean, I'm really just wondering where Garrett Wilson's going to go. There's just so many teams that could go with him. And the Giants are one of those teams as well. Galladay, what even happened to him? Was he just injured? So the injury concerns were very real in that last year with Detroit, because he definitely wasn't, I mean, he was overpaid because it was the open market, but he definitely was a good player. Kadarius Toney, one of my favorite players in the league, actually. I just love this dude. He is just a freaking elusive god. Yeah, I think you have to just bet that Galladay comes back strong, and I just don't think you take Garrett Wilson if you're the Giants. I think this has to be tackle, and will it be? It's going to be Trayvon Walker. Okay. Interesting. Now, like I said, I don't know if Sauce is going to be there at 5 overall, but maybe, I guess. I think left tackle at 5, and then Walker at 7 isn't the worst call. And then speaking of Garrett Wilson, this almost has to be him, right? They are so desperate. They're going to take Karlaftis. I had him at like 17. Huh? I had him at 17. They reached hard. I mean, the Falcons could use pass rush. They could use a lot of things on the defense, but that had to be Garrett Wilson. There's no way in the world it's not. You have no Calvin Ridley for another year, and honestly, will he even play another snap for the Falcons? Will he even play another snap in the NFL? Pretty harsh, kind of ruling that suspension for gambling. We've got worse in the NFL, believe it or not. Oh, damn it. I had a joke lined up for earlier with the sauce. I was going to say, dip in the sauce. I'll be here all week. Unless my internet goes out again. Funny, after I said it late, right? The Seahawks, it's very hard not to take quarterback with pick 9. Maybe Malik falls there, number 9. In real life, it's just one of those picks where it's going to be under the microscope hard, because that's kind of like the bulk of the trade for Russell Wilson. I don't know what you do here. Do you go safe and take maybe Charles Cross? Wide receiver is definitely not the biggest need. They do need corner. Stingley could be a super steal. Obviously, there's a lot of concerns, injury concerns, and just talent concerns. I don't know what this is gonna be. I would probably go with Cross, but how I wouldn't even say fitting, but how annoying would that be? I guess Russell probably doesn't care anymore, but finally get some offensive lineman help and he's gone. Yeah, this could be Kyle Hamilton. If this is Garrett Wilson, I'm gonna be pissed. I'm gonna be so mad, dude. There you go. They go with the tackle. That's not the worst call in the world. I will say, though, I probably would say pick 9 has a very high chance of being quarterback. But the Jets, this could be Garrett Wilson. And it's Jordan Davis. Team that loves their D-line gets even more. Does he really fit the Jets defense, though? I mean, obviously he's pretty damn athletic for that size, so I guess when you got a guy like you got an anchor like him, you make it work. But I really thought that was going to be Kyle Hamilton and Garrett Wilson. Speaking of Garrett Wilson, finally, Jermaine Johnson, a team with abundant resources on the D-line, also goes D-line. Maybe Minnesota's going to go Garrett. This is Stingley. Kyle Hamilton. Okay, fair enough. I understand that, but pick 12 almost seems like a lock for Stingley, right? It really just seems like he's a lock. If he doesn't go before then, at least. Houston at 13 would have loved Jermaine Johnson, I feel. I don't know what this is. Let me see what we got remaining. Maybe this is Stingley. Once again, Houston needs so much. I would probably go Garrett Wilson. I mean, you're looking at best available, and I think that is by far best available. I also think at this point, speaking from a Packers standpoint, if you have Garrett and Drake London there, with Houston and Baltimore right here, and Philadelphia and the Saints, I think you gotta trade up. I think Green Bay, it hurts. You can't give up 22 and 20. You got to try to make a play here for one of these wide receivers because there's a very good chance these next 4 picks, 3 of them could be wide receiver. And let's find out. Houston takes Stingley. Great pick. This has got to be Garrett Wilson. Drake London. I had Garrett Wilson above him. We're going to just assume that is Garrett Wilson, not Drake London. But this could be Garrett. Can we just get Garrett Wilson off the board so I can stop talking about him? Trent McDuffie to the Eagles. They do need cornerback help, but I got to say, they're kind of going undersized again. Philadelphia feels like they've been undersized at corner for some time now, and that's kind of the case here again. If this isn't Wilson, I know I keep saying it, the Saints traded up, potentially to grab quarterback in fairness, but to absolutely take a wide receiver, this is like golden opportunity that'll never happen in a million years, but they're hoping it will, and they get him. Finally a cool pick, because that is absolutely the number 1 right call. The Chargers don't probably need Jordan Davis anymore, but they still would have liked to have him. Obviously, they kind of solved that in free agency. I'm trying to think of what this could be. The Chargers need a bit of stuff. This could maybe be Andrew Booth. Might be a little early for him. On our board, of course. Not in real life. Absolutely not. But on this board remaining, let's see. I would take him if I was them. And they go Treylon Burks. I mean, that's just not a need. Philadelphia is pissed. What can we say? They go Olave, and now I'm pissed as a Packers fan. I want him so bad. Chris Olave, I just think is going to be a star, and I just want him for Green Bay so badly. But, of course, that doesn't happen. Philadelphia, that's a good pick. The Saints, maybe this is finally quarterback. It is not. It's going to be an offensive lineman. They do need O-line, but specifically tackle, maybe Penning instead. But they go with offensive lineman, Kenyon Green. Once again, I don't know if I really agree with it, but at least it's not like the wrong position. You know, they need a lineman. And now we have the Steelers, a team that probably needs quarterback pretty badly. I don't know if I believe in Trubisky. Obviously, rest in peace to Dwayne Haskins. I was actually really excited for him to go to the Steelers. I thought that was actually a really cool team for him to join. And I was actually really excited to see if maybe that was the team that gave him a spark. Really unfortunate news, obviously. But quarterback might be a huge need for the Steelers. And I don't know. I feel like it's not like you can hurt Trubisky's feelings. He's gone through some emotions. But this could be quarterback. It probably should be quarterback. And it is Kenny Pickett, which is definitely not a bad pick for them. A bit of a steal, to be honest. You know, there's thoughts that Kenny Pickett goes top 10, which probably is something I agree with. Now you have the Patriots. This is a team that has a lot of different directions it could go. I think maybe Jameson Williams. You know, if anyone's going to take, I wouldn't say a chance per se, but a chance on a quote-unquote injured player, maybe it'd be the Patriots. They need that wide receiver help, obviously, and this is immense value for him, obviously, because, well, I wouldn't say immense, but the injury allows it to be good value. So maybe it's going to be Andrew Booth, another big need, as they lost both of their superstar elite stud corners in the last several seasons here. And, yeah, I don't know why that just didn't come to mind. Obviously, that was the big need. Green Bay could still use edge. You don't know what happens when Rashawn Gary, came on really strong last season. But money concerns, obviously. Preston Smith, obviously got extended. I'm not sure exactly the logistics of that deal, but I imagine as we keep pushing money into the future, we're kind of locking these guys in with dead hit numbers. So maybe edge. Green Bay has kind of had that luxury of depth over the last couple of seasons now on the edge. I think with the current board, though, it absolutely has to be tackle. I don't think there's even a question about it. Maybe they take Jameson, but if you really truly you've seen yourself as a win-now team, I think you kind of got cucked with wide receiver. Maybe you trade down that second first-round pick to grab someone like Christian Watson in the second round, try to replace that MVS type wide receiver that you've been looking to get back, but obviously ended up losing to the Chiefs. I think this absolutely has to be Penning. Anyone else, and I don't respect it, just simply put. Let's see what they take. Nakobe Dean. I should have just taken Penning for them, because that's just... the chances of that being the Packers draft pick is just so small. It's unbelievable. Like, I know Green Bay, specifically in the first round, has been a little, I wouldn't say questionable, because they've actually had really good drafts, but they've had some, the positions have been a little questionable at times. That's just untrue. That's just not going to happen. Now with the Cardinals, this is a spot that's kind of tough because a lot of the edge is gone. Ajabo obviously had the most likely season-ending injury, even real, in the 22 NFL draft or the NFL season. Words, nice. This is where they would love to take him. Might still take him. Got a couple of guys that are really talented players that are potentially going to miss their first year, their rookie season in the NFL, but still worth taking. Ajabo, maybe Mafe. It's got to be edge, though, for Arizona. They kind of needed edge before losing Chandler Jones. J.J. Watt, you just can't trust him to stay healthy in general. And I don't even know, were they playing him on the interior, I'd imagine? Kind of maybe shifting him out a little bit every once in a while, but probably needs to be edge, but I think the way our board's remaining, probably going to be Penning. It's going to be Lloyd. Not a bad choice, but I think they've, I wouldn't say addressed linebacker. They've addressed it, but it hasn't been the most successful addressing. Yeah, I don't know about that. Of course, with the Cowboys, these tackles are just falling right into their laps. This has got to be tackle, and it's going to be Jameson Williams. I know the Cowboys kind of shocked everyone a little bit with CeeDee Lamb. It was a very good selection, obviously, and it ended up saving them big time as they moved on from Amari Cooper. But I think after losing their right tackle, I think you got to take tackle here, and considering how much talent is still remaining, why wouldn't you? The Bills. They're in a really good spot, actually, in real life, which kind of surprised me that in Madden they do so poorly. They actually have a lot of positions filled, especially with Von Miller joining their team, a very lucrative deal. But this is where you would like to see cornerback. I know a lot of these cornerbacks are kind of gone for us, once again in Madden. They don't really reach too hard in the game. Maybe you put Daxton Hill at cornerback perhaps, but Elam would probably be one of those guys you would expect to go there. Maybe you see a crazy reach with Tariq, who had that crazy 40 time, but this has got to be corner. Once again, though, because of the way the draft works, I don't think it will be. They're going to end up going with Trevor Penning. Fair enough. I think Spencer Brown actually kind of had a decent season, right? All I know is that he's a massive mammoth, and that's all I care about. So just saying that. For Tampa Bay, I think this would very likely be Devontae Wyatt, if not maybe safety. And then the probably more fun and realistic pick would be quarterback, especially after, kind of scrambling for options after losing Brady. They got a golden ticket second opportunity here as he decided to return. Is that the choice they make? I don't know, but let's see. It could be Wyatt, and it is going to be quarterback. Matt Corral, fair enough. Like I said, you once again, they were kind of scrambling. They didn't really have an option. They were really just hoping he would return, and luckily for them, he did. Bastard. What? No, 27. Kind of a similar-ish situation as Tampa. Not as, well-rounded, but situation where you're looking at potentially moving on from quarterback. Ryan Tannehill, he's a good player, kind of average talent, but I don't think he has enough juice to take you to a Super Bowl. Obviously, next season is when they can get rid of him without eating a huge dead hit number, so maybe you go with quarterback this year. Also, losing Julio Jones doesn't help. This is where I would like to know a little bit more about the class. I would like to see which guy is the best blocking wide receiver. Christian Watson, obviously being super fast, pretty big. It would be amazing to see if he can. I don't know if he's a good blocker or not. That's the one thing where my lacking of the draft knowledge kind of hurts me here. Is I would like to see if they go wide receiver here. It would be a guy that can block pretty well as well, but we'll see what they take. Like I said, they have some offensive line issues, but this could be quarterback as well, and it's going to be Devontae Wyatt. Green Bay gets cucked out again. This could not have gone any worse for Green Bay at all. Like, you wanted a wide receiver at 22, maybe DT at number 28 if Wyatt's there, even though he's a little bit on the older side. They could absolutely use that help next to Kenny Clark. The man has just had a bunch of random fill-in names who have gotten paid around him because of his talent. This is probably Ryman. I mean, this is a guy that has been mocked to the Packers so often, and if it's going to be a safety or something stupid, I may rage. And it is a tight end. Don't you damn touch that dial. Don't you do it. Trey McBride. I thought I moved him to the 50th pick in the second round. Excuse me. Now, not the worst fit for Green Bay, just not the positional need for Green Bay either. Green Bay's tight end room isn't terrible if Tanyan comes back strong and at least healthy. He's definitely serviceable. Not even close to the biggest need on this team. Definitely would be taking tackle there. Some of the picks have been okay in this one. A couple of fun ones, but man, Green Bay's choices in this one gotta be the most unrealistic draft I've ever seen. But once again, because it's Green Bay, we just don't know. The Chiefs, will they avoid taking a wide receiver? Probably, right? I mean, I just don't see why they would take one here. Offensive line, maybe. Tackle, maybe. With Ryman still there, I would say there's a good chance of it. Safety, they could always use some help at. So Daxton Hill being a little versatile would be a great pick for them. I just think the way the board is fallen, maybe you go Ajabo because you don't need as much as the next team. But there's a lot of great options still. And, I mean, this is kind of maybe a potential luxury pick for the Chiefs in real life. Maybe linebacker, but of course we've seen Nakobe Dean and Devin Lloyd go. I don't know. This is actually kind of a questionable one. They got a couple of first-round picks now. They do take Daxton Hill. I like that pick a lot. And then at 30, they end up going with cornerback. I mean, that's very good. The Chiefs did a good thing. They've done a realism. Now the Bengals, they didn't win the Terron Armstead bid, but they did get Lael Collins, who is a very solid player in his own right. Of course, that Dallas team been really injury prone lately, so hopefully that's not the case for Leal with the Bengals. They've done an okay job to add a few pieces to their line. Linderbaum could be the choice here, though. They could use a little bit of an improvement at center. I think you probably go O-line if you're Cincy. Defensive tackle's not looking super strong right now in the class. Maybe cornerback, but they go Ryman instead, which just, other than injury concerns, really isn't their biggest need, but okay, fair enough. And then with this pick, the Detroit Lions, who ended up going offensive lineman in the first round, I believe, pick 2 instead of Aiden Hutchinson because they didn't have the choice, could actually go with edge here, Ajabo perhaps, and it's going to be quarterback, which I think 32 is a great spot to do it. Okay, sure. Now we're going to take a look at the draft recap, but I will be trading Malik Willis to the Panthers. Green Bay ends up going with another linebacker, Nolan Smith. Interesting. Sam Williams. A lot of linebackers, if you will, because, edge technically. Okay, that's interesting. Let's take a look at that first round once again, real quick. Kwanu number 2, which, I guess best available type of situation, but Malik, we're going to be trading to the Panthers. I would like, maybe I'll do a 3-way trade here. Malik to the Panthers, Thibodeau to the Giants, and then Sauce to the Jets. I feel like that's probably the most realistic of the outcome, but Karlaftis to the Falcons. Once again, they do need edge, losing Trayvon Walker, who absolutely needs a speed increase on this class. Maybe they kind of just forced their hand. They had their hand forced for them. But, yeah, not the worst, right? I think Stingley makes more sense to the Vikings here. The Ravens probably go Garrett Wilson instead of Drake London. Trent McDuffie, the size concerns. And for an Eagles team that, once again, kind of seems like they've had really small corners for years now. The Chargers, Treylon Burks, I don't see it, but maybe Olave to the Eagles, fair enough. There's some picks in here that make a lot of sense, and then you have the Green Bay Packers, who just, none of their picks really make a whole lot of sense. But then again, it is, once again, best available pick. If your guy is top of the board, even if it's not the position you want, maybe you still take him. So I can't really even say that, it's super unrealistic, because, it's the way it goes sometimes. And I was going to sim, but it seems like more than half the league isn't starting their rookies, so it's not really a whole lot I can do with this, unfortunately. And even this team had Sauce at number 3, which, DJ Reed's a good player and all, but I think you'd probably throw Sauce in the fire at number 2, probably, as it'd be nice to see DJ Reed at number 3 since he is a little bit on the smaller side. But, yeah, the Jets kind of went crazy with the cornerbacks, but yeah, I'm just going to leave it at that, and let me know what you guys think of this quote-unquote mock draft. I think there was some pretty good picks from the game, but also a lot of picks that just didn't really seem to make a lot of sense. The Jets going with quarterback at number 4 would be quite the shocker. Quite the shocker, and I'd like them going with Sauce a little bit more. Malik, number 6 to the Panthers, and then Thibodeau to the Giants at number 5, but that's pretty much going to be it. Let me know what you guys thought. Like I said, who do you want your team to take? Obviously, as a Packers fan, the dream would probably be Olave and Ryman at 22 and 28. But I honestly think Green Bay, the way the board is looking right now, especially with the Saints moving into the with an extra pick in the first round, I think you got to trade up. Green Bay needs to probably get to 15 here, maybe 14 even, but I don't know, dude. If the Packers can somehow land Drake London or something, that would be absolutely nuts. But I also think Green Bay, even though they did trade up for Jordan Love, is one of those teams where they're like sit and wait, especially with the amount of needs on Green Bay. It might be one of those quantity over quality things. The Green Bay Packers have a lot of needs for just roster talent. They just don't even have a lot of players. Need corners for the future. Don't have a whole lot of guys contracted through the, upcoming years. Wide receiver, obviously, is one of those positions. Running back, what kind of situation is Aaron Jones going to be in when we have a chance to release him or trade him if we really wanted to? Same way A.J. Dillon, how do you pay him? What kind of money is he worth? There's obviously issues coming up in the future for Green Bay. I don't know, dude. I just want a lobby. That's really it. Anyways, thanks for watching. If you guys enjoyed, maybe leave a like, maybe subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, Jeromepkr. Second channel, PKR Plays. And yeah, I don't know when this is coming up, but just always assume a video is, only a day away. Hope you guys come back for next video, but until next video.